Hi and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast. We are back for a new season with my man DT. How you doing? The summer, have you been behaving yourself?
I'm always behaving myself. Others try to make me misbehave.
It's never you, innit?
It hasn't been me. It hasn't been me over the summer.
Fault. It's never your fault.
Listen, we've already seen two people in particular. They want to talk about me, and then they cry when there's a little bit of a backlash. Is what it is. I don't need to mention their names. But one was whilst you was in America, and after one of the games, you done an interview, and one of the regulars on the channel, not troops, let me just make that clear to everyone, decided they would just mention me and try and mock me and laugh. And I even spoke to you about it afterwards. And so, yeah, it's cool. Let them keep talking. And then the other one, well, I'm not going to go too hard on him because he's obviously in mourning right now.
Why do you always get involved? Always. It's always you, innit?
Nothing to do with me. Like I said, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, if they want to bring it, like I said, the one who's in mourning right now, for obvious reasons, because his favourite player has been sold. And yeah, it's what it is. Like I said, I was minding my own business over the summer. I told everybody that I'm just enjoying my summer. I was on holiday. I had a very long season last year. People seem to think that if you're a fan and you go to all these games and stuff, it's easy. It takes it out on you, you know. And
it's so hard.
No, but you know,
going to watch football.
No, but when we don't just go to watch football. I'm doing all my vlogs and previews and ratings and all this kind of stuff. I take my children with me, and you know, I needed the break.
Sounds like such a hard life.
It is a hard life sometimes.
You know,
but
there's people like doing night shift. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying
down a mine somewhere. You know what I mean?
I know
people doing
have it
3
tough.
jobs.
Yeah, I know people have it tough, and there's people out there that have it really
hard.
tough.
I've got to take my kid to football.
You know,
that's hard, man.
No, but I'm saying with my health as well, I just needed to have that break, and that's why I had the break. And
so
that's
you're refreshed now.
I'm fully refreshed and I'm ready for what the season brings.
All right, so listen, what we're going to talk about is what the season's going to bring. Mm-hmm. But we're going to start off with transfers. The transfer window shut on Thursday, and you know, some good signings for Arsenal. Let me just run through them quickly. Of course, the big one, Nicolas Pepe. Mm-hmm. Kieran Tierney, which you announced 3 times. You announced it about 3 times during the window. It did actually get announced in the end. Yeah. On Thursday, Dani Ceballos coming in on a loan move from Real Madrid in the midfield. William Saliba, who we know went straight back to Saint Etienne, but of course he came in as a defender. Yeah. David Luiz, that one right out of the blue, coming in from Chelsea. And Gabriel Martinelli. Those are the players that have come in. Loads of players have gone out. The most notable of all of those, Alex Iwobi. So let's just run through what you've made of the. First of all, overall, what have you made of the transfer dealings? Because when we went to America, you know. Once we got out of there, every fan was upset about the transfer business at the time. Yeah. I know over here, you were still over here. I know over here there was petitions going out, and people were really upset. And Josh Kroenke came out and he said, "Listen, everybody, just calm down a bit. We've changed the structure of the club. Yeah. We've brought in a lot of new people, but we want to get this right. We want to bring in some really good signings, and we're working on some stuff." And you guys need to get excited. And at the time when he said that, I remember he was like, "Excited, mate. Go do one." Nobody trusted them to do it. Now, you have to say, I don't know what you think about it. Personally, I think they've delivered. I do feel excited about the new season. Yeah. Now that they've brought in these signings, what's your feelings?
It was always going to take more than this window to fix the problems. I think this window has also proved what a fraud Ivan Gazidis is. All of his spiel that he used to rumble on about, and absolute rubbish.
Like what?
everything they used to come out with, that we're projecting to be this team and do this, that, the other. He never delivered. What did he ever do? The best thing that ever happened to this football club was when he left for AC Milan. Raul Sanllehi's came in.
He did bring these guys in, by the way. Remember that? It was him who brought in Sanllehi. He brought all these guys in.
And can I say that when Sanllehi first came in, he was basically behind Gazidis. Gazidis was the main man as the CEO. Sanllehi was behind him. I was looking at the situation. I was thinking, this guy's come from Barcelona, the top man at Barcelona. All of these transfers you've seen for the last 15 to 20 years at Barcelona are because of Raul Sanllehi. The reason why Lionel Messi gets all his new contracts and everything else, Raul Sanllehi. The likes of Luis Suarez that's come in, Dembele, all these players over all these years that you've seen Barcelona sign is because of Raul Sanllehi. Now I look at that and I think, he ain't coming to play second fiddle. I think he came in 2017 and slowly got his feet under the table and slowly started to do what he wanted to do. I'm convinced that he was a part of giving Gazidis a nudge so that he could then move up to the top table and be the man. He was very influential in, I feel, getting rid of Mislintat, because they both had different ideas.
Yeah, but everybody moaned about that.
I know, because we hadn't seen the proof of what Sanllehi could do. Sanllehi's whole philosophy is he has a big book with a lot of extensive contacts in. And he does it the old-fashioned way, which is if we want a player, we'll go get that player. I'll ring up whoever I need to at, the respective club, and we'll use our contacts. Whereas Mislintat is very new school.
I don't know. I think you could say that if you look at the signings they've made, it's a mixture. Initially, yes, Nicolas Pepe is not a secret that he's a top player. Mm-hmm. But then somebody like Gabriel Martinelli is one of those sort of out of the blue, nobody knows who he is, could potentially be a gem. Same with Saliba.
But you say that. I also think that the Martinelli thing was already put in place long before Edu turned up. But it was to do with a recommendation of Edu. He knows that South American market. The reason why there was Coutinho.
Yeah, well, Saliba then. Saliba's like nobody really knew nothing about him. He only played about 15 to not even 20 games for Saint Etienne last season, and we've gone out there and made a big investment in him and sent him back on loan. So obviously that's a sort of, that comes into the hidden gem status, doesn't it? So
I wouldn't put it that far. When you look at Guendouzi, that's kind of a hidden gem. That's one we never heard about.
Yeah, but it's the same with Saliba.
No, because Saliba was making a lot of noise in French football.
He's only played 15 games, last season.
But it doesn't matter. He was making a lot of noise. And if you listen to the people that actually know what they're on about within the French league, they're saying that he is the most advanced 18-year-old since Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, but he's only a young kid.
No, I know he's a young kid, but what I'm saying is he's not a hidden gem.
Well, he is really.
No, because we all know about him.
Etienne. No, well, we know about him now. Yeah, because but when they bought him in, did you heard of William Saliba before we started getting linked to him?
Yes, because I'd done a video on him around about April, May time.
So You'd heard of him from where?
Robbie.
Where did you?
Robbie, I had done a video. I had done a course. Wait, listen to me. I had done a course of videos before the season ended on potential signings that Arsenal could make in the summer.
That we've been linked with.
No.
We've been linked with those players. Have you heard about him?
Go through my videos. There's about 15... No, listen to me first. There's about 15 episodes, and there's players in there...
That we were linked to?
No, we're not linked to.
We were linked with Saliba.
Before the season ended, we were not linked with Kieran Tierney. Before the season had finished, we were not linked with Kieran Tierney.
Yes, we were.
No, we weren't.
We were.
No, we weren't.
Oh, we most definitely
No, it wasn't. Everyone was talking about...
we were being linked with Tierney.
Everyone was talking about Chilwell. Everyone was talking about him for left back.
We were being linked with...
Robbie, go watch the videos. Go watch the videos.
I don't have to watch your videos. I'm saying that the players that I know we were linked with.
I'm saying to you that I watched French football, German football, and Spanish football. I did watch other games.
So you watched a lot of games of St. Etienne.
No, because I heard someone mention Saliba's name.
Who?
Right? Someone that I know.
Who's that?
I'm not revealing my source. I know.
I don't believe you, man. Listen, you know nothing about no Saliba.
I know, right? His name was mentioned, yeah? I looked at him and I thought, wow. And he's big, commanding. He doesn't look like an 18-year-old. He's not built like an 18-year-old. And then I had a little bit of a deeper look, and people were saying that he's the closest thing to Mbappe in terms of advancement, not player type, because they're in completely different positions, and Mbappe's just gone on to be unreal. But he plays ahead of his years. He's one of those players that is so far advanced of his time. And I feel that Arsenal have looked at the situation and said, if we don't get him now, let him have another year in the French league, it's going to really alert all of the other clubs. And hidden the price tag, it's not hidden.
Well, if next season's going to alert everybody, that means they've taken him before he's been alerted. To the point, that means he's kind of hidden
to the point where people will pay ridiculous money where we can't compete with. But at the moment, we need to get in there before the likes of a Man City or Chelsea are allowed back into the transfer dealings. You know, this kind of stuff. It was the perfect time. There were other clubs in the Premier League after him.
Spurs.
Manchester United. So it wasn't like he was hidden. When Guendouzi came, there wasn't no real talk about Manchester United and Spurs and other players after him. You know, it was kind of, that's what I'm saying about, he is a gem, but not a hidden gem. Do you know what I mean?
But one player who's definitely not a hidden gem that we brought in is David Luiz.
Oh, no, all day.
So did that shock you?
Massively. And to be honest with you, I can hold my hands up and say that when I initially first heard the rumour, I was like, no, come on, man. And then when you look at it in a cold light of day and you think of the situation that we're in, the defence that we've got, he brings experience. He's a winner. He's won trophies. He won the league in Benfica. He won the league in France. He won the league in England. He's won
Champions League,
the Copa... Confederations Cup, with Brazil. Over 50 caps for Brazil. Brings experience.
Have you slagged him off in the past, though?
Yeah, I have. There's already a video of me where we were playing Chelsea and I called him Sideshow Bob. But at the end of the day, look, come on, man. If a player plays for your rivals, you're telling me you've not slagged them off.
Yes.
Of course you have. But when they join your club, you love them. You know, I just can't wait for him to make a crunching tackle and Guendouzi gets sent off for it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, let's hope we don't have Andre Mariner refereeing any of our games. But he brings that bit of experience. Yeah. Rob Holding's
for
coming back
£8 million quid as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we've just lost Koscielny. But let's not talk about that prick.
But let me ask you about that because, you know, whilst we're on it, what did you make of... I heard... on the radio the other day, I was driving, I heard Adrian Durham. He was on the radio on Talk Sport and he was saying, why are all the Arsenal fans getting all heated up for, you know, what was wrong with him taking one shirt off and unveiling the other shirt? I found it very...
It is disrespectful.
What did you think?
Well, I think Adrian Durham's disrespectful to begin with, and he needs to talk about Arsenal in a disrespectful light to keep his views up. But let's not talk about him. In Koscielny, he's the club captain. All right, he has to lead by example. Whilst you are still under contract of Arsenal Football Club, you have to respect your contract and lead by example. There's a lot of youngsters that went on a tour to America that will be looking to people like Koscielny for advice and guidance. And they're sitting there going, wow, our captain's just turned around and refused to come along to the tour. Why can you not come along to the tour, keep yourself ticking over, keep yourself fresh, be respectful, and then we can deal with the contract situation as we progress. There was plenty of time. So why can you not be respectful to the situation?
You heard the stories about he was promised.
Rubbish.
That he'd be able to
Rubbish.
leave.
If he was promised, why are you doing commercials with the new kit on? If you were promised that you could leave at the end of the season, why are you openly...
Yeah, he might have done them commercials under duress. He might have been like, why am I doing these commercials for? You promised me I'm going to get my move.
Under duress. He was in handcuffs. He was being held against his will. You know, Kolasinac was standing off screen threatening to beat him up. Come on. It was...
If in a couple of years, if when his career's done, he came back and he said, you know, sorry, guys, you know, maybe I shouldn't have done that at the time. But you welcome him back to Arsenal?
No, you're not welcome back.
9 years of service.
You're not welcome back. You're in the same category as Nasri and Adebayo. You're not welcome back. And I think that a lot of the Arsenal fans will agree with that. You're not welcome back. You've burned your bridges. Done. Shove your 9 years up your arse. And then they released the video that they done. At what point did he not sit there and go, do you know what, guys? This ain't right. I can't be doing this. This is disrespectful. You can't be doing that. Whether you're, they're going to have, media team and, all these liaison people that are going to be saying, right, this is what we're going to do for the welcome video. You see it all now where they all point to the badges and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. That's not, but the way he's actually took the top off, like he's just tossed it to the side and revealed the new one. At what point in his own brain did he not go, look, listen, this is a bit disrespectful, man. Maybe I've got problems with the hierarchy and the powers that be at Arsenal, but the one set of people that have never disrespected me and looked out for me and been by my side are the fans. Let me not disrespect them. All right, if I point to the badge, we understand it's a part of the modern way that they do these promo videos. Maybe we'll be like, oh, look, he's poking the badge, but it's part of the game. But to do that, I think you saw by the reaction of a lot of people, even Ian Wright. He was like, how disrespectful, man. You can't be doing that. And they couldn't, they spent so much money on him, they couldn't even afford the new shirt. Do you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, this is the thing, right? And I don't mean to use this as against him, but if Arsene Wenger was still manager, this situation wouldn't have played out the way that it did. Arsenal would have covered up for him not being in America, and they would have sent him off and said, yeah, thanks for the 9 years service. Yeah, we'll let you last year of your contract go.
These
we'll
new
sort that
guys
out.
are not messing
They're
about.
like, no, sorry.
They wanted money.
I'm sorry.
They were like, we want money for you, and if we don't get the money for you, you're not going. And they got the money.
You know the way I see it? That extra 5 million that we got out of him is probably what got us over the line with Tierney. Cheers, thanks for that.
Let me just run back onto some of the signings then. So Nicolas Pepe, that signing, like nobody thought that we'd get him. We were talking about Zaha. We were quoted massive amount of money for Zaha. That wasn't looking likely. And then from nowhere, we signed Nicolas Pepe. Man United were interested in him, and Liverpool were interested in him. Bayern Munich wanted him. At the start of the window, they looked the favourites to get him. Napoli were like on the verge of signing him. It was like he'd already agreed. And then we come in and pull that off. That was huge.
Yeah.
And we've got ourselves... I was over in France the other day. It's me and Brennan, and a guy was saying to us, he's better than Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Can I just say something?
I was like, what? Is he?
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I was also there.
Was you there at that time?
Yeah,
you was there. Yeah.
This guy.
No, you was
this
there.
guy.
Do you remember that guy? He said, he goes, he's better
you were
than...
like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But certainly, last season in Liga, apart from Mbappe, he was the next best player.
Yeah, by a million miles. And who was the player that I kept telling you about when we was doing these podcasts last season and we're talking about wingers? And I know you've had a big thing about Zaha, and he would have massively improved our side. But the name I kept telling you was Pepe. But I did also turn around and say, I'm realistic that will never happen.
No chance again.
I was like,
we were just like,
I would love him.
We'd be like, he'd be perfect, but
I was like, I'd love him.
And now we got him. And it's just like, wow, where did that come from?
Because we went in there.
We were told we only have 40 million quid.
Because we went in there like a big club and we bullied. We bullied our way to the front of the queue.
But where we get the money from?
Realistically, we haven't actually spent much money. We haven't. When you look at it,
as it's turned out.
But
I don't think they was expecting that Iwobi deal. So, but I'm saying, where they get that money from?
Well, what I will say
were they sort of all along being really smart and saying, there's two theories here, right? That all along they had this money and they just lulled everybody into a false sense of security, thinking they only had 40 million so that they could pounce on a big deal. Number one. Or number two, those guys, Sanllehi and Vinay, went to Josh Kroenke, following all the petitions and the fans being upset in America and stuff like that, and said, hey, guys, listen, we need some more money here, man, because if we're going to pull off do some good signings, we ain't going to be able to do it with the amount of money you've given us. We're going to need some more funds. Which one of those two theories do you think it is?
What I will say is that I think it's down to, what's the other guy's name? No, Farheen. Is it, how do I pronounce his name? The one that does the final part of the negotiating. You've seen him on the plane with Saliba and all that. Came from Team Sky or something we signed him from.
Yeah.
He's like, Sanllehi's the first point and then it goes on to him. I feel that they got some unbelievable deals in place with these installments and stuff. Like we're paying under £20 million a year for Pepe.
Although a lot of teams do pay in installments, don't they?
I know, but what I'm saying is that for a player of £72 million, you normally do have to pay a chunk up front. Like probably I'd say 45 to 50 million, which is kind of the kind of money that Crystal Palace were wanting for Sahar. They wanted the same kind of figure, but they wanted 50 odd million up front. We couldn't do that. We were able to broker a deal. And also, what was key in that was getting George Mendes in to be the middleman to do with it. Arsene Wenger publicly said he would never deal with the likes of George Mendes. So again, if Arsene Wenger was here, we wouldn't have got Nicola Pepe because he wouldn't have dealt with people like that.
And we plucked him from under the nose of, there was a lot of fans salty after that saying, we weren't really, we didn't really want him. They knew they wanted him.
I wonder who that was. Salt and Pepe, yeah? I wonder who that was. I tell you something, over the last week or so, I've seen two people in particular get absolutely hammered on social media because of their previous comments. And I, for one, have loved every single minute of it. I have retweeted every single comment that's been about it because the saltiness is just beautiful. I've loved it. It's been so nice. Have you loved it? Come on.
Listen, I just want Nicolas Pepe. I don't really care about that.
No, but I do I'm just
happy that we've got a great player.
I've sat there for so long and had to listen to their whining and their constant, Man United fans talking about how like they're so hard done by. Oh, poor Manchester United. Ooh, let's shed a tear about it. I watched them in that window on that final day. And it was beautiful to see. Players are turning down Manchester United.
Mind you, they got a couple of good, you say that. They brought in two top quality defenders. And with us, Tierney.
Quality.
You happy?
All day long. I'm so happy. We paid less for him than Tottenham paid for Sessegnon. Which just shows how ridiculously overpriced English players are.
Sessegnon is 19 though. He's young.
I know he's a young lad, but Tierney's not a kid, a fully grown, like 26, 27 year old.
Tierney,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But yet, look what I know it's the Scottish League, but he knows how to win. He's come from a side that do know how to win. And so he's experienced those big game moments. Sessegnon wasn't even the best player at Fulham last year. Who was the best player at Fulham?
Callum Chambers.
Oh, yeah. Callum Chambers.
And Fulham did have a poor defence last year. But
there was a
Sessegnon is I like him.
Talent,
I think he's a good player.
But he's not proved himself in the Premier League because he proved himself at the championship levels and stuff. But then when he had to make the step up to the Premier League last year, he didn't step up. And you can sit there and say, okay, it's Fulham. But like I just said, Callum Chambers went to Fulham and he stepped up.
So Tierney, you're happy with?
All day.
Dani Ceballos.
Oh, mate, massively. Just the little performances. We were in Barcelona on Sunday. He was just, I love his directness, his close ball control. Everything in his mind is forward thinking. Even the little cameo he put in the Emirates Cup, everything he was trying to do was forward passing. And it was quick. It wasn't laboured. It wasn't slow. It was just progressive, quick. I think he's going to be a huge player. And I'm really, really, really hoping that we have something in place because if he has one hell of a blinding season, then we're going to be kicking ourselves that that's all we're going to see out of him, one season.
Gabriel Martinelli, who's coming, Ituano, second division team in Brazil, has come in.
Now he's a hidden gem.
He's electric pace, and he's
electrically
quick. A new word, but he's so quick.
Yeah. Do you know what really impressed me about him was his toughness. Like he looks like he's got a bit of a nasty streak about him. Maybe that's a South American thing. He just looks like he's.
What are you trying to say? People from South America have got nasty streaks. You sound like Donald Trump now.
This guy. Let's have
DT, Donald Trump.
Let's have a look at some of the South American players that have that bit of an edge about them. You think of Alexis Sanchez, you think of Luis Suarez, even Lucas Torreira. You know, you think of those.
Ospina.
Hey, listen, it's there may be the odd one that doesn't have that little bit of a streak, you know.
And he's from Colombia.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you get what I'm saying. At the end of the day, they're brought up in a different environment.
When they play football hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, you're
they
right.
play for they play for the shirt, and it's just kind of. He just looks like a young lad that's not scared to get stuck in. It's the best way of saying it. And you know, my first chances of watching him was when we was out in. Auger? I just call it Angers, probably because it's very appropriate for me. Auger, and then obviously in the game against Barcelona when he came on as well. And it's just, there looks to be no fear in him. And obviously he's going to have to be managed right. He's not going to be part of the first team on a regular basis. As, you know, starting.
Might get more of a look in now, as on the bench, especially now that Iwobi's gone.
He will get opportunities in the Europa League, the Carabao, maybe the FA Cup and stuff like that. And it's down to him to seize those opportunities. It'll also be interesting to see how he does around about Christmas time, because some of these South American players as well, you see it with Lucas Torreira last year, hit the ground running and then kind of hit a brick wall around about December time. And then he needed a break. So Lucas is one that I'm really looking forward to seeing this year, because he's now adapted to life in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm happy with the signings, man.
What about some of the players that have gone out now? Now the big one, the big shock was Alex Iwobi. Leaving to go to Everton. The deal they reckon is going to rise to about £35 million. What's your view? I see you having arguments with Kelechi over the summer about Iwobi, right? But what's your view? What's your views on Alex Iwobi leaving?
I think it's a great deal for Arsenal. I feel that he's had long enough. He's not a kid. He's nearly 24 years old.
He's 23. That's still young for a player. You just said before how young Tierney was as 23.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he's been here for a long period.
Yeah, he's come up through the
I know he's come up through the ranks.
He's Arsenal.
But what I'm saying is, so was Cole Jenkinson, but he was not good enough and he had to go. He's had long enough. He's had 3 years where he scored 9 goals. The end product is the biggest problem. Now, you mentioned that I've had arguments with Kelechi over the summer, all right? I don't even want to get involved too deep into what was said. I've got no time for him after the things that I've been accused, slanderous bullshit allegations that I'm a racist because I don't like Alex Iwobi. The simple fact is that he's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club, in my opinion. And I'm not a minority that feel that. To be called what I've been called over the summer is disgraceful. And I've got no time for it, so I don't even want to engage in that. My opinion on Alex Iwobi is based on football, not colour. Okay? I love Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He's African. You know, I'm raving about Nicola Pepe joining. He's African. It's about what he does on the pitch. How many times have I sat there on AFTV after a game and I've praised Iwobi when he's done well? And don't shut up, Robbie. You shut up, right? And I've sat there so many times and I've said to you, Alex Iwobi up to the final third is unbelievable. He can cause so many problems. Then he gets into the final third and he turns into Bambi. And I've said it. And that's the biggest issue that I've had with him. And we want to elevate Arsenal Football Club to a level of past glories of where we were. You look at players that play in these positions and you think about your Marc Overmarses and your Freddie Ljungbergs and your Robert Pirez's, even to your Alexis Sanchez's. Those guys delivered in the big games on the big stages and scored goals. And you go by blocks of 5 games. These players would produce 4 top games out of 5. There would be the odd one where they would be poor, might just have an off day, but predominantly they were always good for 4 out of 5 games. Alex Iwobi was good for 1 out of 5. He would have 4 bad games, 1 good game. It had to be the other way around. It just wasn't. And what you're doing is by prolonging him staying here and keep saying, maybe this year, maybe this year, maybe this year, you start to block the progress of players like Reece Nelson, Saka.
But they're going to get a chance now.
And they're going to get a chance.
Huge for Reece Nelson in particular.
I feel Reece Nelson's got a bigger ceiling than Alex Iwobi.
Reece Nelson's looked good in pre-season.
Really good.
Obviously, we don't know yet. The window hasn't shut for Europe. So I'm just wondering, are one of those German teams are not going to come in and want to take Reece Nelson for a season again?
I actually don't think he will be.
I hope that Arsenal keep him. I think this is a huge opportunity for Reece Nelson. He's looked impressive in pre-season.
Very impressive.
He's another guy that's come up through the ranks at Arsenal. I really love to see him succeed. And it's a big opportunity for him and Saka as well. Yeah, Saka's very young, very raw, but again, a big opportunity for him. But I'm a bit gutted about Iwobi. He's come through the system, man. He's come up from. I saw those pictures, when he signed. Just a little kid, and
I know
you come all the way through the system, and you know what? It must be hard for like a player like him because we all have it on the other hand where we're saying, Koscielny, yeah, you're a rat, yeah, you've left and that. He would have maybe woken up on, Thursday thinking, right, training and that, and then he gets a call from Arsenal. We've had an offer in for you from Everton. It's a lot of money, and we're taking it. So, what do you think? Just to let you know, by the way, you're not really going to figure much. So if I was you, I'd probably take it. There's probably something like that along those lines that have gone down. And it must be really hard for a player. Just in the stroke of one day, you've been playing the African Cup of Nations. You played really well in that. You come back and just like that. All your life, you've been at Arsenal. You've come through the ranks. You've worked your socks off to get into that first team. And just like that, you're out.
Welcome to the harsh world of football,
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, at least he's going to... I think it's a great move for him as well because he wouldn't have started at Arsenal because now Nicolas Pepe is coming in. You don't invest £72 million in a player who don't start, right? Yeah. Nicolas Pepe is going to start.
Yeah.
He would have been coming off the bench. It would be, he wouldn't be starting the amount of games he did last season. If Everton have paid that amount of money for him, they're looking to start him. So it's a great opportunity. And plus, Everton at the moment, they've got some good players. They've, Gomez... Sigurdsson, Richarlison. He's going into quite an exciting team. However, as I said, he's just got up sticks and off you go to Liverpool.
Listen, welcome to the harsh reality of professional football. It happens. Your life can change in an instant. But the way some people are carrying on with these videos and everything else, look, he's not dead.
No, people are a bit sad because he's come through...
Some people are reacting like they're mourning him.
But he's come through the ranks.
He has.
He's come through the...
I wish him nothing but success in his future endeavours. I hope he succeeds. I hope he plays like shit against Arsenal because that's a natural thing. I don't want him to play well.
But they never do when they leave.
But they never end up doing it. He will turn into... he's just about scored 3 in a season. I can't really see him doing it in one game. But... at the end of the day, I wish him well. I do wish him well. I would love Alex Iwobi to have succeeded and proved people like me wrong. I would love him to have done that. But I saw too much where I just wasn't seeing enough. And I was going, we can do better. If we want to be where we want to be, we need better. And we've all moaned for so long, there's a lack of a ruthless streak within this club. That we let too many players just hang on and on and on and on and on. Now we're acting like a big club again and we're being ruthless. Emery, Sanllehi, Edu, all these people would have all been a part of the sale of Alex Iwobi. They'd have all had their input and their own opinion. They obviously believe he's not good enough to play for the club and that we can get better. Or we've already got better now with signing Pepe. So they've all sanctioned that sale. They didn't need to sell him. It wasn't one of these where, we had to make the money and, club like Man United come in and took Van Persie off us and all these kind of things of before. It was Arsenal's choice to sell him. And Emery's obviously looked at him over the course of last season and said, you know what? At certain times you look unplayable. But for the majority, you don't contribute anything to the side. And we can do better. This is about me and my team and rebuilding for a new Arsenal.
Okay. And some of the other notable ones that have gone out, obviously Danny Welbeck, we knew that
he was leaving anyway.
He was leaving.
He's got a great deal.
Move, yeah. Watford.
Yeah.
I think that's
it's perfect.
If they can get him fit, you know, that'd be a great move
It's perfect for them because he doesn't have to up sticks and change anything. Watford's training ground is directly next door to Arsenal's, so he still has to go the same route to work. Just make sure you pull in the right car park. You know, that's the only difference. So for him personally, it's perfect.
Shed any tears for Carl Jenkinson? That was really sad, didn't it?
You know what the thing is, right? I said, right, and I've said this all along, that I'm happy he's off the wage bill. He's gone. He wasn't contributing anything to the club. But then when I sit back and I look at it, and I even put a tweet up the other day and said, you know, maybe I've been a little bit too harsh on him. And I look at it and I think, because I want what's best for Arsenal. I don't want, you know, hangers on and all these people that shouldn't be at the club anymore. Get out the door, get in the bin. Get out of my club, right? It's kind of like... That's what
I've been a bit harsh. Get in the bin.
No, I'm saying...
Get in the bin.
No, but I'm saying that... No, I'm on about not him specifically. You likes of Koscielny and all that. Go on, go. We can get better. And what I'm saying is that when I look at it and I look at the, you know, the message that he sent, and I look at it and I say, you know what? Fair play to him because he's lived the dream that we all wish that we had. You know, when we were growing up as Arsenal fans, as kids... we all looked into the stars, shall we say, and were like, what if I was walking out of the tunnel at Highbury and I was like Ian Wright? That I grew up, my first hero for me was Charlie Nicholas, and then it went into Ian Wright. So I was growing up wearing my full kit, going out to the local park, kicking balls against the wall, wanting to be like that. Cole Jenkinson grew up the same way, but obviously had other heroes. And he got to live that dream. He got to wear the shirt and be paid and to represent the club, you know? And like I said, now he's gone. You're the highest paid fan left at Arsenal.
Yeah, I saw your stupid tweet yesterday.
Why did you retweet it? Huh? Oh, that was brilliant.
I don't retweet rubbish. You know what I mean?
I thought that was excellent. But no, fair play to him. He's lived the dream. And let's hope now he can stay injury-free, go and have a great career, go and enjoy your football at a great club in Nottingham Forest with serious history. And who knows, maybe one day they can get back in the Premier League and Cole Jenkinson will be facing up against us, or they could draw us in the cup again.
So the players are in. The players are gone. Well, there's still a couple of other players that we would have liked to have seen gone. Like,
they can still go.
I still look at the Mustafi thing. He could still go. Because the European window's still open. There's been talk that teams over in front. Would you let him go now, though? Would we have enough cover?
Of course. I'd let him go.
What about the theory that we could play him as a right back?
That is a theory, but I'm hearing as well that Bellerin's a month away. I know it will take him a little
time in football. Listen, ease himself back in.
I'd rather a 50% fit Bellerin than 100% fit.
You didn't want to play him last season. You're saying play Lichtsteiner.
Hey, but listen.
Play Lichtsteiner.
Yeah, but hold on, Robbie. Like I said to you, when players play well, I can hold my hands up.
He was playing well at the time.
I know. And what did
he was playing well? You were saying to bring someone else in.
Right. Let me explain something to you. Let's get the context right here because no, I didn't. Okay. Because before the season started, what I said about Lichtsteiner was before the season started and in pre-season. I just watched Hudson-Odoi absolutely tear Bellerin a new one in Ireland.
In a friendly.
It doesn't matter. You're
friendly.
You are playing to go into the new season.
In a friendly.
You are playing
Make your mistakes
to go
in a friendly,
into a new season. And at that time, Lichtsteiner, when he was playing in pre-season, looked decent. He looked good. And I sat there and I thought, you know what? Bellerin doesn't look like he's getting over this form that he was going, because he had a dip through the season before. And I was like, he doesn't look like he's rediscovering the Bellerin that broke onto the scene. I was like, you've got a guy here that's the Swiss captain, plays like a 27, 28-year-old, looks good. He looked decent in pre-season. And a lot of people were saying the same thing. And then Lichtsteiner went to shit and Bellerin stepped up to the plate. And I was gutted when he got injured.
I'm excited to see Bellerin and Tierney.
Yep. Both down the flanks.
Down the flanks.
And Bellerin's got a new haircut as well.
Still the centre-back position. I think it's David Luiz, but he's still not super solid, is he? David Luiz and Socrates as well.
Yeah.
Two guys who can be very rash.
Yeah.
Dive in some little, do some madness sometimes in games.
Yeah. But what I will say, with Holding coming back as well, because he's played an under-23 match now, so he must be so close to coming back to being in contention.
What about Chambers?
Well, he's there. I can't see him getting sent out to a foreign side in the next 4 weeks. I think that most of all his loans have been to English teams. And I don't think, unless someone comes in with a big offer from abroad, where, like an Iwobi, where we go, yeah, you know what? You know, and can I just say one thing as well, going back to the Iwobi thing, just one thing, because a lot of people have asked me this question and they've made this statement. They've said that they would rather have sold Mkhitaryan than Iwobi. I also agree with that, but there's a problem. Some idiot put Mkhitaryan on nearly 200 grand a week wages. There's no other club stupid enough to come in and buy him and put him on those kind of wages. And Mkhitaryan is never going to turn around and take a wage cut. Why would you?
Mkhitaryan scores more goals than Iwobi.
I know he does. Listen.
Yeah, that's the one thing I think with Mkhitaryan, we know what he's like. He's up and down, but
he does score some goals.
If you bring him off the bench and you need a goal, there's a potential he could score one.
But then you say that as well. I personally think that Theo Walcott was more value to the team than Alex Iwobi ever was.
He had more end product.
Because he scored over 100 goals.
And he had a lot of assists.
Exactly.
You know, he used to get such a hard time, but he scored a lot of goals.
I know. And you've got to remember, he went to Everton to allow the development of Iwobi so that there wasn't anyone in his path. There wasn't a block. Now I feel we're going through the same process. Iwobi's had his opportunity. He's not done what we want him to do. Now you're blocking the path of Reece Nelson, Saka, etc., etc. So you have to make way.
Even Pepe's
and Pepe. Well, Pepe's on the right. Iwobi plays predominantly on the left.
Yeah.
You know,
but then,
so
Aubameyang will be out on that left.
Exactly.
Side,
so we've got plenty of options. So yeah, I agree with what people are saying. I would love to have got rid of Mkhitaryan because it's another older aged player. He needs
a big season. He needs a big season. It really does. So listen, everybody's in, and most people are out. And the season starts this weekend. Newcastle away, tougher game to start off with. They made a lot of signings as well. New manager,
mate.
Last season away from home, we were terrible. I mean, we did actually win at Newcastle.
Yeah, we did.
As one of the few places we won, but we were awful. We got to address that form. Yep. Do you see a team with what Arsenal got now that can finish better than what we did last season, which is in that top 4?
Yeah, can I just say one thing? I did notice one signing that Newcastle made that made me just bang my head against the wall.
Andy Carroll. Yeah, but he's not fit.
Is he not?
No,
I thought they just signed him to play against us.
I think they said he's weeks away from fitness.
That's all right then. They might even just bring him out on a pair of crutches They have brought
in this guy Joe Linton. Have you seen him? He's a big guy as well. You know what I mean? So
I tell you what,
they've still got that physical presence.
But I watched him actually against Saliba in a friendly, and Saliba. I see enough in that game.
We ain't got Saliba.
I know we ain't got him, but I see enough. But
it'd probably be Mustafi.
Yeah, no. I actually know.
Well, it might be.
Listen, no.
Does Luiz come straight in?
Yes, because he's been playing pre-season. He's fit.
Yeah, but he's not played with the team.
I don't care. I'd rather we play with 10 men than Mustafi. He comes straight in with Socrates. David Luiz comes in centre back with Socrates.
Or Chambers and Socrates.
Might play 3 at the back.
Maybe.
Luiz exceptional
in a free. Doesn't he? He seems to work better in a free.
Maybe he will do that. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll go with a free.
Might be because Pepe probably won't be fit for that game, will he? He probably won't figure.
And you've got to remember as well, let's be real about this, yeah? In a lot of the pre-season games, especially towards the end, Barcelona and whatnot, it was Chambers and Socrates that were playing. Mustafi was on the bench. So I think that's pretty evident that Mustafi's not in Unai Emery's plans. He's just kind of got to put him in there at the moment.
But is this team good enough to finish in the top 4? Is Unai Emery? He's under a lot of pressure as well now. You know, I mean, he can't turn around like last year and say this is his second season, right? I think his contract's like 2 with a third option. His contract, isn't it?
This year, he's going into his final year.
If he don't deliver this year,
out the door,
it's not the Wenger time where you're going to get 22 years.
What I will say is that we've got enough to be finishing the top 3. We do have enough. I mean, it'll be a battle, don't get me wrong. Well, at the end of the day, we were 1 victory away from finishing 3rd last season. That's how tight it was. Yeah, you need to hope that other teams capitulate and lose.
Are Man United going to be as bad as they were last season, though? They got a much better defence now. That's one thing. They may have lost Lukaku. They may not have really strengthened their midfield, but they've got a better defence. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna concede as many goals as they did last year because bringing in Harry Maguire.
We will see, but I do think that
Wan-Bissaka
I do think that they'll struggle. I think
so. They've got a better defence. You've got Chelsea. All right, they've lost Hazard. But they're going to be under no pressure now. They'll be. I think the one thing what will really affect Chelsea. I was chatting to some Chelsea guys yesterday. The fact that they got Champions League football and they got the league with they have to play a load of youngsters now, and they've lost Hazard, who's their main guy.
I honestly think that Chelsea and Man United are going to be the two battling for 5th and 6th with
Tottenham
Everton.
Tottenham has strengthened with Dembele's a good player.
I personally think that the top two are going to be the same top two, which is Liverpool and Man City fighting it out. I do still feel that Man City will have too much for Liverpool, and Liverpool have not strengthened. But if you're a Liverpool fan, I know they're moaning, but I'll tell you something, I wouldn't mind winning the Champions League and then moaning about the year after. I'll be still celebrating, Jesus Christ. But I know they want to strengthen just to go that next step, because that's the holy grail for Liverpool fans. They've done everything else. In Arsenal's respect, the holy grail is the Champions League. It's the only thing we've not done. But I just feel Man City will have too much. I think 3rd and 4th will be between us and Spurs. And I think that 5th and 6th will be between, I'll tell you who it will be between: Chelsea, Man United, Leicester, Everton, Wolves.
Give us your top 6.
Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Man United, Chelsea.
Give us who's going down. It's your bottom 3.
Norwich. They've only spent 1.1 million. And I know they've got some quality players there, but it's a big, big step from the Championship to the Premier League, and to only spend £1 million. Don't look that great, does it? Sheffield United, I think they'll struggle. I think they got a great signing in Ravel Morrison.
Well, can be. Could be a great signing. Could be
if he rediscovers what.
Could be a nightmare.
I know. Yeah. Well, he's a lot older. He's a lot wiser.
Really talented player.
So talented.
I did something. I'm going to say with Gary Neville, and he was talking about Ravel Morrison, and he goes that. When Ravel Morrison was in the youth team, he was like miles better than Pogba.
Oh yeah,
miles. He was the man. He was like, and to see, potentially he could be,
Potentially he could be. And then there's always a dark horse, isn't there? One that kind of just creeps up on you. Like last year, we all kind of sat there and said Fulham and Huddersfield, and then who else got relegated last year? Was it? Oh, it was Swansea. Not Swansea.
That was the year before.
Cardiff. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have the Welsh fans on my case now because I've got them mixed up. But yeah, that was kind of, but there was some teams. I think Newcastle could be dragged into it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I said this last year. I was speaking to the guys on the Newcastle fan channel when we went up there last year, and I just said that I feel that Mike Ashley clearly don't want to be there. They were meant to be bought out a couple of months ago, but they're not. What got them out of trouble was Rafa Benitez being the manager, and Steve Bruce, and the goals that they scored was with what's his name, Rondon, and that was there.
They're both gone.
Can Steve Bruce look at his track record? How many teams has he relegated? I don't see how you can go from Rafa Benitez, who for me is a top class manager that's played managed at the high levels, to go into Steve Bruce with all no disrespect to him, but that's it's like driving a Ferrari and then buying a Fiat.
And your dark horse?
What, Newcastle?
Your dark horse for a team that just in general is just going to do well. Is going to surprise everybody this season.
Watford. I feel that what may have been lacking...
That Ismaili Sarr's
I feel that what may have been lacking for Watford is that they were very heavily reliant on Troy Deeney and Andre Gray. And they struck up quite a good partnership. And Delafeu. But now they've got Danny Welbeck and Ismail Sarr.
That Ismail Sarr, I remember he played against us for Rennes.
Yeah.
He's one of the quickest players I've seen.
Well, this is the thing. I spoke to Troy on the last day of the window, and I said to him that Sarr is an unbelievable player, like rapid. I said, but he has his moments where he looks a bit erratic.
Well,
but
I don't know, man.
But from
not when he played us.
When he played us in Rennes, he looked. I was like, because he scored the third goal.
Yeah,
and I was like, this guy gave Monreal an absolute battering. But then in the second leg, I don't really remember him doing too much. Yeah. So it's kind of, they've got an unbelievable player on their hands. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And if they find Welbeck and we again pace some power.
Exactly. So they've got, I think that they could, but then I
think West Ham as well.
Yeah, well,
that's another team that no one's really talking about. I think they got
top 6. Everybody's strengthening. You know, Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves, of course. I think Wolves might suffer a bit. They're going to have Europa League.
Yeah.
But I think West Ham, you know, they've got no European football. They're going to be waiting on teams every week. They've got a good little team. They've got certain Jack Wilshere's fit, Lanzini's fit, that Haller.
The two for me that could kind of be close to breaking that top 6 for me would be Everton and Leicester.
Okay. So listen, that's first All Guns Blazing of the season. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Don't forget, you can check us out on all formats. Download the podcast and enjoy it. The link is in the description. We will be here each and every week here on AFTV. Make sure you tune in. AFTV, as you know, anybody who watches and follows us regularly know it's not just about interviewing fans outside the game. That's a massive part of what we do. But we have all these shows that are really, really popular. This is an award-winning show, award-winning podcast. We've got some new shows coming as well. Look out for a brand new show we got starting with Kevin Campbell. He's going to be doing a regular show here, ex-Arsenal player on AFTV. And look out, we're going to be having some guests here as well on the podcast throughout the season. So look out for some of the guests that we're going to be featuring here.
And?
You're leaving?
You've tried that one already. It ain't worked. I still come creeping back in.
And what?
And there will no doubt be plenty of banter because Blood Brothers season 2 is fast approaching.
You know, I was going to talk to you about some shenanigans I've seen with you, but I'm going to leave that.
We ain't talking about none of that.
I'm leaving that till next week.
Yeah.
On next week, I'm going to touch on Dead Team FC.
Oh, right. We'll see. We'll see, yeah? Make sure you check out the episodes, all right? I know they're about 2 episodes out for your pre-season. And I think the other channel that, you know, the London, Manchester one, their first season's out. And my one's about to drop on the 21st. Now, if you want drama and you want excitement, then you're going to watch my episodes. And that's out on my channel. You can't find the link in the description because he won't pull it up.
Check out his channel, subscribe as well. And thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.